Hey everyone, it's Stephanie Davis. I am broker associate at the Boulevard Company, and today I thought it might be helpful to let you know a little bit more about who I am, where I come from, and why you might want to work with me. So I'm just coming off a 3-day conference of Inman Connect. And if you don't know Inman News, it's run by Brad Inman, and it is the premier conference, meetup, if you will, for all the thought leaders in real estate. So I'm very inspired and excited about some of the things that I saw. One thing that was interesting is that our market isn't the only one experiencing record low inventory. It is something that's happening across the country, and there's lots of things spurring that on. But I think some of the main things are the low interest rates, and then the lack of housing. Just the new construction starts and builds have not kept up over the last, 4, 5, 6 years. The smart economists who are advising us realtors are saying that it's going to take probably 4 or 5 years for the builders to catch up. So they are expecting this housing drought, if you will, to last for 3 or 4 years. So if you're worried about pulling the trigger because you don't want to overpay for your house, we can't predict the future, of course. But those who study the markets and the numbers and do the forecasts are saying that we are set up to be kind of in this seller's market for a while. So I think there's probably going to be a correction at the end of it for sure. But if you buy and sell now at the front end of it, then hopefully as it continues to go up and then drops off eventually, you've caught it just on this upswing where you're still going to have some equity in your house. What I've seen this week is really interesting in our market. I have a listing, it's been on the market 2 weeks, which is too long. But the seller was really ambitious and knows that the market is doing this and wants to take advantage of it, of course. What's interesting to me is buyers, I think I had 10 or 12 offers for that property over the 2-week period. The seller was holding out and waiting for a specific buyer who could guarantee certain things. So we did finally get that under contract. But what I saw was buyers, especially the ones using financing, are willing to write offers that are 15, 20, 25% over what I believe is market value. I saw that also on the buyer side. I had a client compete for a house, and the house was moderately overpriced, maybe 5% overpriced. Of course, when you're competing, you have to decide, how does this house fit us? Is it a 10 out of 10, an 8, a 7? How hard? How many of our best cards do we want to play, right? So they went in kind of middle of the road, didn't want to extend themselves too much and get out of whack as far as equity goes. But I asked the seller when we lost the bid, well, not the seller, but the listing agent, I asked, so how far off were we? Can we be a backup offer? And what she told me is that the seller was going to net more than the list price. So if the list price was already 5% over and they're netting more than the list price, that tells me that the winning bid was, like I said, 20, 25% over what we see as market value. So market value, of course, in real estate is determined in the rear. So what that means is appraisers and realtors, when they're pricing property, they are looking at the last 6 months of sales, and they're using comparable properties in terms of size, condition, location to determine what a particular subject property is worth. So when I say that buyers are bidding 20, 25% more than market value, of course that market value is based on the past, right? if these economists are predicting that we're going to be in this market for 2, 3, 4 years more, they're saying until 2025, probably at least for the Charleston market. If you're bidding 20 to 25% above market value today, our market came up 16% in the last 12 months here in Charleston. So if that's going to happen in 22, 23, 24, 25, and you're going 20% over market value today, you should be in good shape in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, right? We don't know what that correction will be again, like I mentioned before, but I'm just thinking, I know it's risky. Wearing a buyer's hat right now is tough. Thankfully, if you have a house to sell also, then you should be in good shape because you're also probably making 10 or 20% more than market value on that side. But it's going to be interesting to see how the appraisals keep up with these contracts, these sales prices that are so far above the history of even last week and the week before as far as closed sales prices. I don't know. It's a crazy time. I don't have all the answers, but I know that I can feel the pulse of the market. Back in October, I actually sent out this postcard because I could tell that we were running out of houses. My listings were getting multiple offers. My buyers were desperate to find something. And at that time, I said on the postcard that there were 3,200 houses available for sale. And actually today I'm looking and there's 1,917 houses for sale, 1,917 houses for sale. I don't know where it's going to go because most of you who want to move, maybe your house is too small, you need another office, you need another bedroom, you need a bigger yard, whatever it is, you're not seeing where you want to go out there on the market, so you're feeling stuck. Going back to the conference I was in this week, there were quite a few vendors presenting their business ideas that would allow people who own houses now and want to move to actually buy the next house, move into the next house, and then they get money up front to repair the house they're living in if it needs repairs. Things like that make me nervous because I had my license back in 07 and 08 where people were, they put themselves out there too much. They were strung out too far and got caught up, and it's like the hot potato, the last one holding it loses, and the last one who bought the house way above market value, they were underwater for a long time, 5, 6 years, some of them lost their houses then when things changed. So it's a scary time. I mean, it's exciting, but it's scary, right? What's the answer? What can we do? But I think my point here is that we are still in the front of this as far as we can tell. So if this is the time for you to move, maybe stretching yourself a little bit and paying a little bit more for the house than you think you should isn't a bad idea right now. But 2, 3, 4 years, I think we're going to get to a point where when is that music going to stop? Am I going to be left without a chair or holding that hot potato? So I don't know. I've kind of been all over the place here today. I wanted to give you a better idea of who I am and how I work. I've talked through a few of the strategies that I have in my mind. I have been selling real estate here in Charleston for 14 years. At that time, 2007, like I mentioned, it was a very strong buyer's market. The prices of listings were going down. When I took listings, it was like, well, you have to price yours a little bit better than the last guy who sold if you want to sell, because there was 12, 15, 20 months of inventory on the market. Right now, I think in some cities we have 6 or 7 days of inventory on the market, so it's completely flipped. But I'm not the big team. I'm not going to be the most polished, best dressed, but I am going to analyze the market. I am going to be empathetic about where you are and what you're feeling and your nerves and how am I going to do this, and just being overwhelmed, whether it's your first time buying, first time selling, or just trying to figure out how am I going to fit it together, the sell and the buy at the same time. I had 2 clients last year who bought and sold at the same time, or bought and sold kind of back to back. They each chose different ways of doing that, but where there's a will, there's a way, and I'm a problem solver. So I would say that's one of the things that you get with me. Again, like I said, the empathy, the experience, the willingness to think outside the box. I come up on your team and I spend your dollars like they're my dollars. Every penny counts, right? I remember that you have a full-time and a family that you're trying to be involved with during this home buy and sell process. So you can't know everything. You can't contemplate everything and predict everything and anticipate what's going to happen. So I try to do those things for you. I try to take things off your plate. Last year, I sold 26 properties. All but one were either referrals from people I had worked with or people that I know, or they were past clients, people that I had worked with previously. The one who wasn't someone that I knew or a referral or past client was someone who found me because of the blog that I've been writing for about almost 12 years now. So the people that I help come back to me for help later. I've worked with many families over and over again, and then I work with their kids, and then I work with their kids' friends, and then I work with them and their parents again. So a lot of that happens. I do love my clients. I love people who appreciate me like we all do. And again, I think that my strength is I put myself in your shoes. I try to understand how you're feeling. I go to bat for you as if I'm going to bat for myself. And then I have that knowledge of 14 years of seeing the market go this way and then that way, and anticipating the shifts before they come or right as they're happening. So I know that's a lot today. I was kind of all over the place, but I am trying to get more consistent with these videos weekly on Fridays at 4 o'clock. Just trying to get you up to speed on what's happening in Charleston real estate, how to have a smart strategy when you buy and sell. By the way, a couple weeks ago, I did a video on the top 5 things to look for in a listing agent. So I'm going to give you the link for that here. And then last week, I did what is going on in this crazy seller's market. And I gave you some things to expect in your buy and sell situations. I think it was 5 things of the way that the market is changing. This week, I know I've kind of been all over the place, but I'm excited to spend this time with you every week. And if you like what you heard, please make a comment. Please like, subscribe, share. Let's get the word out there about this market. I know that if we work together, we can find the solutions. There is housing for everyone. A lot of you are renting and you want to be buying. You're seeing the prices are going up and up. It's like a stock. You want to get in there now. And I get that. So reach out to me. I can help you. I'm in the Charleston market. I'm Stephanie Davis with the Boulevard Company. All my info is going to be down below. I'm glad you were here today. I enjoyed this talk and I want to meet you. So follow me on socials. I've got all those links as well. And tune in next week when I'll talk about something else real estate. Bye guys.